So, I mean, everything from Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice to Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, we studied. And by the way, I'm not saying that we got to that level of Kubrick, but I gave it a good shot.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Pop in the Culture, your weekly entertainment check-in. And me, I am your host with the most, Mojo, of course. That's right, it's me, Mr. Hollywood himself, Matt Demers. Another fantastic show coming your way. I've got the director of the new movie Mr. Malcolm's List, plus Shila Ommi. She's one of the actresses on the show Tehran on Apple TV+. You're not going to want to miss those chats. But first, we're jumping into it. Here's your Hollywood headlines. And here to help me break it all down, of course, is the Watch Mojo lady, Rebecca Brayton. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Matt.
Listen, last time you were on, me and you got really excited for Thor, Love and Thunder, and I think we can get even more excited if that's possible, because guess what? The early reactions, the early reviews, those lucky people who got to see it ahead of time, I'm not one of them, but some people did, and guess what? Glowing reviews. I was just going through it a moment ago, and they are calling it not only electric, wild, uproariously hilarious, like legit laugh out loud. My cheeks hurt from laughing so much. But they also saying, Rebecca, that they're blending that humor with emotion, and they're saying there's a bit of a warning from more than one person saying that at the end, the waterworks might start flowing. We can only speculate what.
I thought you were going to say it's the first Marvel movie with nudity, which it is, apparently.
Well, that too, although none of the reviews noted that. But listen, there wasn't a bad one in the bunch. Everyone is saying that this is fantastic. They're not even ho-hum about it. Some are even saying this is their favorite of the phase, the latest phase, Phase 4. I mean, how does Marvel keep doing this?
Well, I mean, okay, if they stick the landing, I definitely could see how this could be the best Phase 4 movie, because I mean, what's your favorite Phase 4 movie so far?
Well, I literally just watched the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I know it was very different from what we've seen before, but I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi, and I love the horror elements. So I kind of dug that. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home was fantastic too.
Yeah, that one is tough to beat. Doctor Strange, I would say, is a divisive film. It is a creative film. It did things differently, and they are taking a risk with that film. This film is not a risk. It is a proven commodity, proven star, proven cast, proven director, proven vibe for the MCU. I just don't see how it could possibly go wrong, which is famous last words, but anyway.
And by the way,
proving me right so far.
You jinxed us all. Last time you were on, you talked about how someone might possibly die. And now hearing that a lot of people get emotional at the end, maybe you're right. Maybe a character does get.
I feel like I heard he didn't die, though, Thor.
Oh, it doesn't need to be him. It could be somebody else. Oh,
well,
by the way.
Okay, if we know the comic books, Jane Foster, while she is the mighty Thor, is going through cancer treatments. So that does not bode well.
No.
I'm just going to say that.
But people are praising, by the way, Portman, and I'm glad you brought up the actors, because the other one that a lot of people, myself included, were curious about was Christian Bale as this character, Gore the God Butcher. He had a very, when I look at the trailers, very unique look. I love Christian Bale because he really goes for it with these characters. People are saying it's great. It's terrifying, which
he's going to be at least a top 5 MCU villain after this, I bet.
Oh, he'll be in all our lists for villains, I'm sure. But people are questioning, I did hear people question his accent. Apparently he's melding like what sounds like 100 different accents into one. So we'll see.
Yes, but maybe it's just his real accent, because every time I hear him speak with his real voice, I'm like, that's what he sounds like?
Right? Right?
Yeah. No,
I would say
joking.
that.
I know what he actually sounds like, but still, I'm always surprised. He does the American accent very well.
There's like 70%.
I'm very picky.
70% of actors and actresses that I hear in interviews, and I'm like, what? They have accents? Okay, so I'm going to stick with Christian Bale for just one more moment, because I don't know if you saw some of the headlines that are coming out about him as Batman. He is saying, well, we got to mention it because he's saying he would do it. He would be Batman again. Christian Bale, of course, was Batman. The caveat is that it has to be directed.
If Nolan returns, right?
Yeah. Has to be Christopher Nolan doing a Batman movie, which, I mean, you know that I love The Dark Knight, my absolute favorite. And I'm sure there's a petition out there already to get Nolan to do another Batman. I mean, come on, we live in the world of multiverses. We can get another Christian Bale Batman out there.
Oh my God. Can you imagine a movie with all the Batmans? First of all,
well,
let's not even go there. No, but okay. I don't think the DCEU is doing well enough to not consider this.
Right? Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's your favorite Batman? Since you brought it up, all the Batmans together. Who's your all-time favorite? Everyone, I know it's a hot take. Anytime we get someone to answer that.
It's tough because I like all of them, truly, for their own reasons. I really enjoyed Adam West, but movies, okay, fine. Actually, no, this is the hottest take you could possibly give, and it's the one I'm going to give. Val Kilmer. It's not the hottest take. George Clooney's the hottest take.
I knew this. I knew you have a really soft spot for Batman Forever, right?
I really do. Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah. I don't hate that movie, but yeah, Val Kilmer, that's a choice.
It is a choice. But okay, to be fair, he's not my favorite Batman, but I at the time thought he was very attractive in the film, and it works for that movie, but that movie is very specific. So Michael Keaton and nobody come for me.
I'll put my checkbox in the Michael Keaton column as well. All right, moving on to another actor that people definitely adore, and the rumor mill is now flying that he is set to retire, and this is based on his own words. I'm talking, of course, Brad Pitt, who's saying he's in his last act. He's in his final the final phase of his career. How could this be? Well, he did this interview with GQ, and he's saying that this won't be his last film, the one that's coming out called Bullet Train. But the next couple will be his final. This is kind of sad to me. I don't know. I can't imagine a world without Brad Pitt. He's a true movie star, Rebecca.
That is true. I actually somehow missed this part of the news cycle. I guess other stuff took over. But I don't believe him. I never believe people when they say this. I'm sure he'll retire for 5-10 years. He'll, go climb Kilimanjaro, I'm sure. Do his thing, but I definitely see him coming back unless there's something we don't know. Like Bruce Willis obviously retired because there was a health issue there. I mean, he didn't mention that, so.
No, I think Brad Pitt just says that, he just feels like he's getting older and it's time to move on. That's the gist I got of it. But
like that implies that once you get to a certain age, there's no stories left to tell, which is not that's not the case at all. I don't get it. I mean, it's fine if you just don't want to work anymore, just say that. That's fair. I get it.
You bring up a good point because some actors find a whole second career later in life. Look at your Sean Connery, who completely resurrected his career in his golden years. I don't know. What's your favorite Brad Pitt movie? Putting you on the spot once again.
Do the Oceans movies count?
Of course.
Okay, then probably
that's
them.
Quintessential Brad Pitt. I'm going to throw out Snatch. Guy Ritchie's Snatch. where he's got that ridiculous accent. You don't even know what he's saying. Brad Pitt's so great. So great. Yeah, no, it'll be sad if he does go, but not anytime super soon, but he does say this is his final act. All right, lastly, it is not the final act for Jon Snow. Game of Thrones fans, well, we were disappointed with season 8's finale. This is going to be a sequel to Jon Snow's character and his...
Oh, it's a sequel?
Yeah. I thought...
Okay, sorry. I thought it was a prequel. I just assumed.
You're not alone because they are doing like what feels like a bazillion prequel series for Game of Thrones, right? There's House of the Dragon, which is actually coming out super, super soon. But this will be a sequel, Rebecca. We're going to continue his story, which feels like a bit of a course correction for the folks at Game of Thrones. We're like, okay, we can fix this. We can fix the season 8 finale. Jon Snow is the most popular character, I would say.
Was he the problem with the last season?
I don't think so.
I don't really feel like his story was the problematic story.
No, but
actually, no, wait, never mind. I just remember what his story was. Disregard.
He was included in what I would say was not a very good part of that final season. But this is a big deal because I would say he's probably the most popular character, and this was his idea, by the way, the actor.
I guess Eternals just wasn't enough.
You know what? I don't. Yeah, I think maybe his career stalled a little bit. But are you in for this?
I'm sure it'll be fine. Look, you know what? I think this is my hot take, perhaps. I think all of these Game of Thrones apology shows are going to work. So I think we're all going to forget about how we hated Game of Thrones for like 3-4 years. When did it end? I don't remember.
Yeah, but I feel like it's lost some of their muster. I mean, House of the Dragon does look great. There are a bunch of other prequel stuff that hasn't officially gotten the go-ahead, but they're in the works. And then there's going to be some animated Game of Thrones stuff as well, which will be interesting. But yeah, so it looks like we are not done with Game of Thrones. But if there is this Jon Snow sequel series, which HBO is saying, yeah, there will be, then I think that could be a good thing.
The GOTCU.
And I'm sure
I don't think that's good. I think we can workshop that.
Yeah, call us HBO. We'll figure it out. Rebecca, thank you for helping me break all this down today. So much fun.
As always.
But you know what? Me and you, we got to take a little trip. You know the trip. It's Beyond the List. All right, Rebecca, here's what we do. We dig deep in the vast archives of Watch Mojo. We pluck out a top 10 list, and we go beyond that list with our own takeaways. We can give our own hot takes. I got a few today, and I'm betting you do as well, because we are looking at
Sadly, yes.
top 10 movies of 2022 so far. So I didn't go too deep in the archives.
Not too deep, yeah.
But I am a movie fan, so this is... I've seen all the movies, by the way, that have come out. So I'm curious which ones you've seen or which ones you've heard about, which ones you want to see. So let's get into it. This is Watch Mojo's list of the top 10 best movies of the year so far, because we are at the midway point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not the best with math when it comes to dividing my... Oh yeah, June. We're good.
I'm like trying to do math. Ooh, put that math meme.
What? Okay, number 10. Okay, it landed at number 10 is Lightyear. The reason why I think it's good at number 10 is because I think it's okay. I think it's getting not very good numbers at the box office. I don't know. It was controversial to begin with based on the fact that, Tim Allen wasn't in it and it was this prequel thing and people were kind of confused about what this was. I don't know. What did you see Lightyear, by the way?
I haven't seen it.
Do you want it?
Yeah. So I saw a tweet, and this kind of sums it up, and this is from someone who had seen it, and it was, and I'm sorry I'm not able to, reference who it was, but it was, Lightyear is the first Pixar movie to be released on the big screen since the pandemic, and it's the first one that should have just been released on Disney+.
Yeah, you know
now,
what?
Now, again, I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to that, but I definitely would have watched it by now had it been on Disney+.
Yeah. What you just said, I think is absolutely right. And I don't want to ruin, because I have a feeling maybe another Pixar movie might show up on this list, which I think should have been in theaters, but was on Disney+. But I think you're right. I think Lightyear, and listen, it's not a bad movie, and it's obviously on this list for a reason with Watch Mojo. It's just okay. I think and by the way, I didn't mind the fact that it was a different voice actor. Obviously, it's a different type of story.
Well, yeah, I mean, isn't the idea that this is the person upon which the show and toy are based? Therefore, why would it be the same voice?
Exactly. Yeah. The first part of this movie, there's a line, and it says, in 1995, Andy bought his favorite toy. This is the movie that the toy is based on, or something along those lines, right?
Okay.
So yeah, it's completely different. It shouldn't sound like the toy, but I guess some people had a problem with that. Okay, let's move on to number 9. This is an interesting one. I'm actually glad that Watch Mojo threw this on. It's a bit of an under the radar one that came out on Amazon Prime, if you got that streaming service. It's called Emergency. This is fun. Did you see this, or is it under your radar?
No, and
too?
You have to remind me which movie this is, because when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, is that Jake Gyllenhaal one?" So I don't think it is.
No, you're thinking of Ambulance.
Right.
Yeah, which
That's
was
fair.
not bad actually. It's Michael Bay did Ambulance. That's a wild ride. No, this one is I want to say it's kind of a comedy, but it turns dramatic. It's about these college kids, and they're going out partying, and this white girl, passed out. They think she's dead, and it turns into this kind of goofball comedy, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it, and it also has a lot to say. The college kids are black, so it has a lot to say about race, and they don't want to call 911. They're afraid of what will happen, and I don't know. It was great. I thought the cast chemistry was really fun too. So a Prime Video. Fun. No, it really is. Yeah, it's number 9 on this list. I get no money from these movies, but I did enjoy it. Number 8 is one that did come on the big screen, the Bob's Burgers movie. I'm not the biggest Bob's Burgers fan when it comes to adult animation. I saw the movie. It's okay. It's good, I guess. I think it really caters to those Bob's Burgers fans.
I think it's one of those movies where if you're a fan of the show, everybody that I have heard tell of the film has been very about it. So yeah. I'm happy for them. I never really got into Bob's Burgers, although every time I do watch it, and I have watched episodes, I'm like, this show's really good. It's just one of those things, you know? So I'm happy for the fans that they have a full-length movie now.
I like when adult animated shows do movies. I think they for the most part, they work. Like the Simpsons movie, I thought was really fun.
Did you?
You didn't like the Simpsons movie?
No, I liked it. It's just weird. Like, I remember being in the theater and being like, I cannot believe I'm watching a Simpsons movie in the movie
I know, but
theater.
that was it was fun for me to do that. But
it's a bit strange. It's a bit strange for me. I don't know. I kind of don't get it.
Would you watch a Family Guy movie? I was going to say they haven't really done like a proper big screen movie.
Well, they've done movies though.
Yeah, but nothing like theatrical, like where the budget's big. I
suppose. I'd watch it, I guess. I haven't watched Family Guy in a lot of years.
I would so watch a Family Guy movie. All right. Because, South Park did it. I think they were the first adult animated series.
The South Park. Okay, you know what? Have we done this list? That'd be a good list.
Adult animated movies.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's 10, but
based
you could probably...
on shows. Yeah, because South Park is definitely number 1. But they did it only like 2 years in.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. They were the first ones to make it work, make it good. SpongeBob, I don't know. You're not going to call that adult animated, but that is a show that ends up on the big screen.
I kind of would, even though it isn't.
Yeah. And I dig some SpongeBob movies, so there you go. Number 7 on this list. Here's my hot take. Top Gun Maverick should be number 1. It's number 7. I couldn't believe it. Number 7. This movie definitely deserves to be on this list of the best movies of 2022 so far. It's so great. It blew my mind.
I'm surprised it's not higher too.
It's so much better than I thought it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be good. It's amazing in every way. Just a blast. Just what movies were made for. Rebecca, have you seen this?
No. You know what? I've seen more in the top 5 than the bottom 5.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
I haven't even seen original Top Gun.
Don't worry about the original. Well, actually, yeah, you might need to.
No, I want to have like a Top Gun day.
But
where I watch the first one, then play some beach volleyball, and then watch the second one.
Yes, the beach volleyball scene. What I'm saying is, watch Top Gun in theaters. Like, don't watch it at home because this is your quintessential movie theater movie. It's so much fun to watch on the big screen. Okay. I think this is your hot take. Number 6, The Northman. The Northman. Rebecca, go off. Because
why don't you start and I'll.
Well, listen. Okay, so the director here is Robert Eggers. He did, what did he do? He did The Lighthouse. He did The Witch, which are very, great movies. Some people can take it. Some people can leave it. This was like an epic Viking Norse revenge. It's a revenge tale. I dug it. I really did. I liked it. I like these type of movies. You did not.
No,
You
I
don't
didn't.
like? It's very violent.
It felt like I was the only person that didn't like it at the time because I saw it early, and I was like, "This is terrible. I don't understand." I would have left had I been able to.
Oh wow!
Not my style of movie.
Wow.
And I was like, "This is a ripoff of Hamlet." Sorry.
Yeah, it's
no disrespect. It's not a ripoff of Hamlet. Hamlet is a ripoff of it.
Well, it's Shakespearean for sure. 100%.
No. I'm serious. Hamlet was based on this myth.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. But anyway, what is my problem with this movie? Is I thought it was gratuitously violent. I thought it was. I thought the women were not fully fleshed out characters, which really bugged me. And they were just kind of there to create problems. And I was like, really? Can't give us any more to do than that? And it's just not my kind of movie. And I get why people liked it. And no disrespect if you did. And it was a great work of art. I think they did a great job making the movie. So I would like everyone to please not come for me. I just really didn't enjoy it.
No, I don't think you're alone. These movies aren't for everybody. Alexander Skarsgård, you got to admit he did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, the acting was good. I also not a big fan of incest.
Yeah. No,
and that
listen.
whole scene with Nicole Kidman, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Uncomfortable stuff. But I think you're right.
That's the thing. It's like some people go to movies to feel uncomfortable, and that's fine. I was not in the mood that day.
It didn't. Well, I don't think a lot of people did see it. It hasn't. Their box office tally's not very high. But it's something different.
I really seem to like it.
I think I really like the look. I like the look of it. I like when they put a lot of work into the visuals, and I don't know, the performances were pretty raw. I don't know. I dug it. Okay, number 5. This is the one I kind of teased earlier when I talked about Lightyear going in cinemas. When, as you alluded to, some people think it should have stayed on Disney Plus. Well, Turning Red is number 5. I think that should have gone to cinemas. It was on Disney Plus. It's a really great movie.
It was really great. Yeah.
I like. It's just a really great movie, and I think it deserved to go on the big screen. I think people would have had a lot of fun with it. I don't really have anything.
I agree. Well, okay. Look, as a girl who grew up in Canada during the boy band era, there was a lot in this movie that I could connect to.
But as someone I am not connected to like any of these characters really, but I still really enjoyed it.
Well, that's good. Because I it's important to say that because I did see some reviews of the film, which were basically this movie's not for me, and therefore it is bad. And I don't think that's a valid criticism.
No, I saw those too. I'm like, well, they don't really get the point of movies and target audiences, and yeah.
But even then, like you don't have to be in the target audience, as you said, to enjoy a film necessarily. Like, I don't think when I originally watched Ghostbusters, I was the target audience, but here we are.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. I think it's great. I love the soundtrack. The boy band stuff is really funny. It's a really fun movie too. Some of the scenes are just like laugh out loud, but then it's really they nail the emotional part. Pixar is great at doing that, getting you right in the feels. We talked about this a little earlier. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Won't go too much into it because I did really enjoy it. It lands at number 4 on this list of Watch Mojo. So I would 100% say, do check it out. Sam Raimi bringing a little bit of horror infusion. And this one is now on Disney Plus, so you can stream it. You don't need to see it in theaters. Number 3, did you see this movie called X, Rebecca?
No, I don't know what it is. I saw that and I was like, uh-oh.
So this movie follows a group of people that are going to make an adult feature. You know what I'm talking about? And they go to this farmhouse, but the old couple that's letting them, film their movie at the farmhouse is, let's just say, not who they appear to be.
Well, that's your first mistake. Any old couple that lets you film a porn, I can't say that, can I?
You can say it.
Can I say porn? I don't know.
You can say
any old couple that lets you film an adult film on their property is probably got questionable motives. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, this movie, but you know what? In their drawing comparisons to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is watch Mojo, and they nail it. It's great. Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it has that feel of like, so it is. It's a little unpredictable. It's a salacious, yes, but it's just well done. If you like slashers, of course, blood, a lot of blood.
This sounds. I don't want to say better than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it sounds more like it has more of a story.
There is, yeah. No, there is more of a story.
Which I feel like is what, for me, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was kind of missing. It was just like some people meet a killer and terror ensues. You know what I mean? So the fact that there's kind of a story, that kind of intrigues me. I'm intrigued by this film, especially because it's so high.
Yeah, no, I would agree. As far as that genre goes, I would definitely put it this high. We're going back to superheroes. Number 2, the Batman. Batman at number 2. Yeah, I dug it. I love me some Batman that's super dark, super gritty. I thought Pattinson nailed it. This is my type of movie. Rebecca, Batman. You're gonna say something bad about it, aren't you?
No, it's good. Can't complain. I mean,
it's no Batman Forever.
No, I know. No, I'm kidding. I don't think that's, to be fair, I just want to clarify. I don't think that's a good film.
It's not bad.
I think it's a fun movie to watch, especially when you're like a kid in the 90s. Okay?
I'm agreeing with you.
No,
but no, the Batman.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them.
But you must admit that the Batman, the one that we got this year with Robert Pattinson, was pretty stellar.
Yes, it was. Of course. Of course. I have nothing to say.
I loved it. I've watched it 3 times now, and every time I love it, and I love picking out new things every time I see it. So, okay, honorable mentions. This is fun. These are movies that I did enjoy as well. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I mean, how funny was that movie?
It was cute.
Come on, that was way better.
There were definitely, that movie was made with me in mind, I will say.
Were you on
target audience? Speaking of target audience.
Yeah, do watch that. Fun stuff. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yeah, another great one.
So I haven't seen this yet, but I'm so excited for it.
Oh, fantastic. I actually, you know what? I think if I was to rearrange this list, I would have slotted that in somewhere. The Outfit is on here. That's interesting. That's a gangster film. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Fun. They keep doing good stuff with Sonic.
I mean, did you see the first one? I mean, presumably you see all the movies. It was so pleasantly surprising.
Yeah. Especially since they fixed the CGI'd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
But the second one was also fun, and now I think they got a franchise on their hands here they're going to do a third one. I love that. I'm a big fan of Sonic.
Do you think James Marsden thought that that when he became the human in a franchise, it was going to be Sonic the Hedgehog?
Probably not. Probably not. Montana Story. This is an interesting one too. Kudos to Watch Mojo putting another under the radar film here. This one with Haley Lou Richardson, Owen Teague. And it's a Western drama to do with family. I'm trying not to ruin the story, but it's well done. It's very dramatic, emotional stuff. All right, number 1, Rebecca, the best movie of 2022 so far. We saw it. It's called Morbius. It's
That was such a good joke. I'm sorry. I thought it was really funny that we did that. I'm not gonna lie.
Is Morbius it's not number 1, by the way.
Morbius was not that bad.
It's not that bad.
That's my other hot take for the day.
Oh.
Morbius was not that bad.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not
No,
bad.
it's not great. But I was like, no, when I saw it in the theater for work, I did not pay to see it in the theater. And I was like, this movie's fine. I did not think it was going to be as ripped apart as it has been on the internet.
I will go on a limb and say that I enjoyed the acting in it the most. Remember Matt Smith doing that dance?
I agree with that.
That was fun. And Jared Leto?
I think that the actors went for it.
Yeah, Leto I think did good. I think what more could he do with that part? I think he brought something interesting. Okay, here's the real number 1. And this is the movie that people should watch because it is great. It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once. the multiverse movie to end all multiverse movies. Talk about taking you on a wild ride. Rebecca, have you seen this? You got to see it.
Yes. It was, okay, this movie was well hyped before I saw it. And I'll tell you something, I'm surprised at how much hype it has received. Because after having seen it, I wouldn't call it the most accessible movie that came out this year. So I'm glad that so many people are seeing and enjoying it. I enjoyed it. I guess I'd call it the best movie that came out this year.
Next to Top Gun.
I need to sit with it some more, I think.
It's a movie that I would love to see again, maybe another time, maybe a third time. No, and that's the thing. If you can go in kind of with a blank slate where you don't really know much, because I did that. I saw it pretty early on. I was like, okay. I remember seeing the commercials where they're like, 10 stars, this is great. But I didn't really know much about it. And I remember going in being like, whoa, this movie's intense in all the best ways possible, and funny and heartfelt, and the performances are great. Yeah, come on. Everything everywhere all at once.
I mean, it is really well done.
Well done. And incredible stuff. Rebecca, hey, listen, I could chat with you for hours about movies, but we got to end it there. Thank you so much for joining me again on Pop in the Culture.
No worries. Thank you. And to everyone, if I didn't like your movie, I'm so sorry. I respect you for liking it.
Oh, you're so Canadian.
Please respect me for not liking it.
You're such a Canadian. All right. Hey, everybody, it is time for our Mojo Chats of the week. Check it out. Listen, Mr. Malcolm's List is a really fun movie, and congratulations on putting it all together. I've got the director here to tell me all about it. Let's start with why this movie? Why is this something you wanted to tackle, Emma?
I was very much looking to find, with not a period drama or a period movie, I was very much looking to find a piece of material that harked back to sort of like the 90s rom-coms. I'm a huge Nora Ephron fan. I'm a huge Richard Curtis fan. And I was really missing that sort of energy of those movies. And I just thought, you know what? If I'm going to take myself on this, what ended up being 7-year journey to try and get my first film made, I may as well do it in a genre that I love and strive for something that I'm not seeing so much in cinema today. So when I found Malcolm's List, I think that's what stood out to me, was that lightness, that wit, that romance, all those things that I actually feel are major qualities of some of the great, the great contemporary rom-coms.
Absolutely. We're set in the early 1800s. I'm assuming there's challenges here. Emma, putting it all together, the details, the costumes, that's all very important for these movies. Was that as challenging as maybe you thought it was, or maybe it wasn't?
Honestly, it was definitely challenging, but it was a challenge that I thoroughly enjoyed, experiencing. I think, to be totally honest, I'm extraordinarily OCD. And I'm super detail oriented. So the sort of the task of like layering everything up, learning about the clothing, learning about the costumes, looking at the color palettes, looking at the furniture, looking at the landscapes, art from the time, writing from the time. It was a really sort of educational, fun, sort of massive history lesson on one sense, but then on two, just an extraordinarily creative, fun process, because you get to make every single decision, because every single set and every single look requires so much design work. The one thing that was the biggest challenges was hiding light switches. I swear to God, I was still finding light switches in the film 9 months into the edit, that we had a wonderful VFX team in London, basically on full-time payroll, painting out light switches.
They're everywhere. Okay, that brings me to my next question, because I'm curious if you took any inspiration from other cinematic movies. I hate to use the B word, but Bridgerton, uber popular, maybe those Jane Austen movies. Was that in your minds? Those other
Bridgerton
works?
was not in my mind at all. We actually made the short film in 2018, so it was nearly 2 years before Bridgerton had ever been announced. So No, to be honest with you, I think its existence is a wonderful thing. I think lots of period films should be made, and I think the similarities between us and Bridgerton are things that are only positive. But no, I took a lot of inspiration, from some of the older period films visually. The cinematography, massively. Like Tony Miller, who shot the movie, we spent a lot of time looking at all the old greats, because when I had this amazingly fresh new cast come in, it was really important to me that the visuals were rooted in something very rustic, very pastoral, very, very much of the time period. So, I mean, everything from Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice to Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, we studied. And by the way, I'm not saying that we got to that level of Kubrick, but I gave it a good shot.
Amazing. Okay, last question before we go. I love asking this because in movie theaters now, you don't need to get popcorn and a Coke. You can actually get some adult beverages, and most of them. What would you pair with Mr. Malcolm's list? An adult beverage. What do you think people should have with them?
Gin and tonic. A Hendrix gin and tonic with
Amazing.
a cucumber. That's the most English drink I think that I can think of.
Sold. And make sure you get that drink and make sure you check it out, Mr. Malcolm's List. Thank you so much, Emma. All right, it's now time for my chat with Shila Ommi from the TV series Tehran on Apple TV+. She's a very talented actress and filmmaker, and she can be seen in the Apple TV Plus series Tehran, which is blowing people's minds. I can't wait to dive in and chat with her. Hey, Shila, how are you today?
Hello, Matt. I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Hey, listen, I'm better now that I'm chatting with you, because like a lot of people, and I got to admit now, I'm a little late to the Tehran train. I've only started watching it only because my wife was watching it and I was like, what are you watching? She was really into it. She's like, you got to watch this show. So I jumped in and now I'm addicted to it. Season 2 is upon us. Break it down. Let's start with that show in particular, because that seems to be the hot one right now that the critics are loving. So congratulations. Tell us what it's about for those that haven't checked it out.
So Tehran is about a young, brilliant Israeli national, but her family's from Iran. So I think she was born in Israel, raised in Israel, but she's so brilliant that the Mossad got her to work for them. And they've sent her as an agent into Iran to stop the nuclear program in Iran. So, to do some stuff. And so she goes into Iran and things don't go according to plans. So everywhere she goes, there's just destruction. And it's a lot of fun. It's a thriller. It's a suspense thriller. A lot of times I would read, but I'd get to an end of an episode, when I'm reading the scripts to prepare, get to an end of an episode and I had to close my mouth shut. It was so...
So they've nailed the what we call the cliffhanger, right?
Yes.
The bingeability is big because you just want to keep watching and keep binging.
Exactly. So I play Nahid Kamali, who is the wife of what would be considered like the head of the CIA of Iran. So the head of the intelligence of Iran. And I play his wife. It's a love story. I think that the Nahid and Faraz is the love story. And so is also Tamar and Milad. There's two love stories, but I like our love story better.
People compare this to, I was reading a lot that the two comparisons that people put on it, which is great, is 24 and The Americans, which, hey, those are some pretty big TV shows.
Pretty amazing TV shows, beautiful writing, so yay. Yeah.
Why do you think people like this so much?
I think people like it because, first of all, I must say, I feel like it is kind of a highbrow audience that has to watch this show because there are so many different languages being spoken. The fact that there's subtitles, not everyone likes to watch a show where they have to think so much and read subtitles. So there's that. But people love it so much because for the work that you have to do in figuring out what people are saying by reading the subtitles, you get so much back in suspense and thrill and twists but I also think that because there's a whole human love story side of it, and I'll talk about the Faraz and Nahid, that it just connects you to these beautiful human stories, and then you also get to go, ah!
You're right. It's got that geo kind of political thriller, but you also got the personal aspect, and they blend it really nicely, like those other shows that we mentioned do. And you're right about the subtitles. I always tell people, I'm like, don't be afraid of subtitles, because you're going to miss so much good stuff. I mean, Parasite won the Academy Award, for crying out loud, and it had subtitles. So people that don't like subtitles, get over it. And the other thing that I like about it too, Sheila, is that it forces you to kind of pay attention. You can't be on your phone, because Apple TV Plus, you're watching on your couch. You can't be like, petting the dog or like looking out the window. You have to watch the screen, and that sucks you in even more. Am I right about that?
To watch the screen. I totally agree with that. And even if there were no subtitles, there is so much happening that if you just look away for a few seconds, you've already missed a big chunk of things that you don't want to miss. So yeah.
Where's the show filmed? Because again, another piece that I enjoy is the look of it. The visual is very authentic and real. You feel like you're there. Where are we filming this?
To my great joy, it's filmed in Athens, Greece.
There you go.
Oh my God, Greece.
So that's not too bad. In between filmings, you can go.
Yeah, and especially with me, because I was very heavily involved in Persian theater, so I used to tour in this several theater companies where we would do plays in Persian and go all over the world to places where there's Farsi speaking communities. So I love theater, and so for someone like me to go to Greece, I'd never been to Greece before. And I went because of Tehran, and to be able to go to these incredible old theaters like Epidavros, where it's like an 11,000 seat theater, and you could hear a pin drop. It's not a myth. You can actually, someone goes and throws a little tick, and you hear the tick all the way up.
Okay, when I plan my trip to Greece, I'm gonna call you up, and you're gonna tell me all the places
sure.
I need to visit.
Sure.
Sheila, you got me. This is on Apple TV Plus, right? I didn't get that wrong. Yeah, because we're in like the streaming, what I like to call the streaming wars. There's always like a plus beside everything. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, I find has some really great quality stuff. And you use the word kind of highbrow, which I enjoy. A lot of the shows that end up on there are they don't dumb it down, right? There's a show called The Morning Show, and there's really great quality is the word I would use.
Right, and Ted Lasso, I love both of these shows. Yeah, right.
Come on.
But also a little fun fact: there's another show on Apple TV called Little America that Sean Tube and I played man and wife on.
Are you serious?
And it is such a great show that I wish people would. Everyone should watch it. Little America. It's an anthology series, so every series feels like a short film that you're watching, and it's about immigrants, and it's just so lovely. It's just so lovely.
So much shows, so little time.
So much shows.
But I'll put it on my list. I have a very long list of shows to check out. That's cool that you guys work together on that. I also failed to mention, speaking of great actors, in season 2 of Tehran, is Glenn Close showing up in here?
Right.
That's real.
Myself. That is real. That is real. And as I was preparing for the scenes, as I'm one of those actors who prepares a lot, it does not come naturally to me. I was terrified, because it's already difficult when you're preparing for a role, and especially a role that, the character you're playing is going through so many psychological traumas, as we won't get into, but Nahid is going into. But to know that I am preparing to go shoulder to shoulder with Glenn Close, I don't know how I survived. I was so terrified.
Wow. And how is Glenn close as a person, as behind the scenes? Is she? Well,
she is lovely. I had to remind myself that I'm here for a job, so stop staring at her. Stop looking
yes.
into her beautiful blue eyes. Stop being starstruck. Do your job. So that was hard. But she's also she's got a huge inner child that I didn't know about. I was actually really before meeting her, I'd seen some interviews, and I was terrified because of these interviews, because in the interviews she looked like an adult and an icon, but I don't mean adult. What I mean is that she had a very strong sense of self and gravity in these interviews that I'd seen. And so scared. And the first day of filming, after we did our first scene together, she came up to me and hugged me. And I thought, oh, yay. But then I remember she's back. It was during a break between two different scenes. And she had the whole crew around her standing, and we were all supposed to sing happy birthday to like one of her best friends. And she was like a little 5-year-old. She's like, oh, and it was just lovely to see.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Sheila, for helping me
Thank you so much.
Pop the culture. All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition, everybody. Big thanks going out to the Watch Mojo lady herself, Rebecca Brayton, for joining in on all the fun. Plus Emma and Sheila for those wonderful chats. And hey, thank you for watching and listening. I've been Mr. Hollywood, popping that culture.